All right, we are having a blast here today. As you can see, Jamie is yelling over to me, even though we are less than 2 feet apart. It is a lot of fun. We have literally been going since 9:30 a.m. It is 2:30 p.m., and it has been an awesome first day pre-conference here at FETC in Orlando, and I am thrilled to be with both my co-hosts here today, my tri-hosts.
Hey!
I'm thrilled to be here with our identity automation team. It was a true honor, and I'm going to kind of go down a different road to begin with. My name is Matthew Joseph, the tri-host of Stronger Together podcast for this next couple minutes, because one of the things that we talk about in this field is taking a risk and selling kind of positive things. And I had an opportunity to meet Jamie and Susan in NiceGate, and really over some socials, so you can fill in the blanks of what was going down. And we were just talking about maybe what could happen, what could we do. And that was in November. Well, 2 months later, they were partners for a book, Architect, that has come out, and they are now here as co-hosts of the podcast. So one of the things I can share with all of our FETC folks, make sure to put yourself out there, talk to people while you're here, share ideas that you have. Even if the first 5, 6, 7 people are like, yeah, I'm not sure. If you believe in something, then be confident and sell that. And I think today has been an amazing day to see through it and spend it with both Jamie and Susan. So thank you both. And Susan, welcome to the wrap up of day 1 of the Stronger Together podcast.
Thank you, Matt. It's great to be here.
That is awesome. And Jamie, we made it. We've been through, every half hour since 9:30. And when you say that to someone like, oh, we're going to be podcasting for 6 hours, we're like, that's crazy. Here we are. We made it.
I think what's really amazing about today, though, is that we've been able to connect with people that I've only seen on social media. I've only seen their names somewhere. This is the first time of really hearing their stories and seeing their faces connected back to those things. And I think that's the value of these types of events, is connecting with the people, building those relationships, and having something next time to build from. So I've really enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah, and I want to give a big shout out to Jim Mumble for really bringing this vision to life a few years ago. That we were doing a lot of the pre-conference just to support the event, because I've been really fortunate. This is my first national event I ever spoke at, and I really thank Jen for helping me to move. And she actually, when I was asked, she flew up to Massachusetts and watched one of my sessions and invited me. And I was truly, truly honored, and that was, multiple years before COVID. And that really started my kind of journey into the national kind of speaking circuit. And I owe her a lot, and I appreciate it. And then making this possible as well. Like, let's not only support our speakers before the event, let's do something here. And we had a chance to meet people, and it's a blast being live out here. So, and now we wrap it up for the day with Susan. Thank you, Susan, for being here and trusting in blind faith in this project.
Absolutely. It's been great.
Well, Susan, we're going to get started with learning a little bit about your background, where your passions really lie in education. It's funny because we've been friends for many years. We both speak on really different topics, but it's just so cool to see the alliance that all of us intersect back, to those core foundation things. But do you mind sharing a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. So currently I'm the Director of Product Marketing for Identity Automation. I've been in my role since June of 2024. But prior to that, I've done a lot of things. I've been a teacher, a tech director. I worked for the federal government for a while. I spent several years working in the nonprofit sector. Before I started IA, I helped co-author the 2024 National Educational Technology Plan for the U.S. Department of Education.
Hey!
I'll do a plug for my workshop at 8 o'clock on Friday morning if you want to learn how you can implement the principles of the ATP in your school or district. Please come join me. I'm really excited to talk about. And then, of course, working for Identity Automation has allowed me to explore another passion of mine, cybersecurity. And what's really interesting for me is kind of bringing together the connections between cybersecurity and how it makes it possible for teachers to do great work leveraging technology with students in the digital environment, because you can't really have one without the other. So that's what I'm really excited about.
I think. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
No, you.
I was just gonna say, coming from classroom teaching perspective, instructional technology, working with IT in various departments, at sometimes even being under IT in some cases, but seeing kind of the collision between these departments in the educational environment. When you're talking about, cybersecurity, you're talking about the necessity of change, right? Things that we have to move into to secure our environments. Where do you see, well, do you want to share a little bit about the friction that is happening in schools? And then what are some of the ways that you found to be successful to bridge those two together?
Absolutely. Well, there's always a tension between security and innovation. And I think you need to, in order to use technology in the classroom in meaningful ways, ways that allow students to leverage higher order thinking skills and to do really powerful things with technology that they couldn't do otherwise. First, you need to have a safe environment. You need to have an environment that's not just physically secure, but also digitally secure. One of the challenges a lot of school systems face is that sometimes the things that make systems more secure can cause friction in the classroom environment. For instance, having students use unique passwords or implementing multi-factor authentication. Those are things that can introduce friction into the environment, and if not handled appropriately, that can cause a loss of classroom learning time. So one of the things that I'm really passionate about is helping balance that tension between security and innovation, and implementing technology and implementing cybersecurity solutions in such a way that it doesn't interfere with the classroom learning environment, but also keeps students safe.
So one of the challenges I can imagine, and being in a district role, is building those partnerships with districts. So what are ways that you have found that you can bridge that gap of building that partnership to ensuring that safety, to ensuring that the students have what they need, but balanced with the safety side of it? So where does the partnership start?
Well, first, I think it's really important to talk to teachers and understand what their concerns are, because I know when I was a tech director, I never fully appreciated how much classroom time can be lost to passwords resets until I actually was in a kindergarten classroom watching a bunch of 5-year-olds trying to log into their computers. And I mean, I 100% can understand the frustration that teachers can have with technology. And that's one of the reasons why single sign-on, for instance, can be so valuable in classroom environments. And then you might say, well, multi-factor authentication can make those classroom environments even more secure, but how do you prevent it from interfering with student learning? And it's really about, again, evaluating how can we leverage MFA in such a way that is not disruptive to the classroom environment, whether you're having kids use QR codes or using pictographs or something. They don't have to use a cell phone or a YubiKey in order to implement multi-factor authentication with kids. You can keep kids safe and support innovation at the same time. But in order to do that, you really have to open up the lines of communication between technology staff and the teachers to understand what the needs are and to come up with the best possible solution.
I know that you have a lot of things going on here at FETC and trying to juggle everything. You have a session coming up, I believe, on Thursday. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yes, it's actually on Friday morning. It's about the National Educational Technology Plan and how to implement it in classroom environments. Again, what I love about it is it's talking about the instructional side of technology and classroom technology, and while also recognizing the importance of supporting it from a cybersecurity side. So in that session, I'll be really focusing on the innovative use of technology in the classroom and what are the factors needed to make that successful. But cybersecurity is an important part of that. So I'm really excited about that presentation.
That's pretty awesome. What do you think the next steps of cybersecurity will include? Like, where do you see us transitioning to?
I see identity-based cybersecurity as being critical, because there was a time when people used to manage security sort of based on devices. And nowadays you have large districts that have, one-to-one programs that are managing tens of thousands of devices. And so it's not enough just to focus your cybersecurity on devices. You want to focus on the individual. And that's what identity and access management does. It allows you to approve only verified user identities and to use your digital environment. So if you could think of it as being in a school environment, you have to have all strangers check into the front office before they're allowed to go anywhere else in the school, because you want to ensure that these people are who they say they are and that they have an appropriate reason to be accessing school resources. It's the same in the digital world. That's what identity and access management does. It involves making sure that you're verifying the digital identity of your users of your system, whether that's a student, a teacher, a staff member, a parent, a third-party vendor, what have you, and making sure that they have access to the digital tools they need, only the digital tools they need, right when they need it, but they don't have access to more than what they need.
Wow, it just is a lot of robust information there, and taking it all in. And if you do want to see Susan and her work, she mentioned Friday she has a session, Thursday at 11:30, the new national cybersecurity standards. That'll be on Thursday at 11:30. It's a poster session with Stacy Hawthorne, who's also a very impactful educator. And then the session she was just speaking about implementing the 2024 National Education Technology Plan at 8 a.m. Friday morning at South 3:30. And I've had Jamie been asking the final question for today, but for the final question of this day, I'm going to take it over because it's really important to me to hear how people frame this, and especially as we look through our full day together, the work that you do partnering with districts and with leaders. So what does Stronger Together mean to you in your work with identity automation?
It means supporting school systems and helping them provide the best possible education for our students in an environment that's secure, in an environment that supports innovation and best practices in teaching, and allows students to use technology to do things that they wouldn't otherwise be able to do in the classroom.
Awesome. Well, I can't thank you enough for stopping in, closing out the day today, and also you'll be with us tomorrow morning for being the co-host tomorrow for our podcast. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Thank you, Jamie, for spending the day with me today.
Thank you.
And all of the amazing voices that we've had on today. Thank you for sharing your voice, your work, and all of the knowledge with us, because one of the best things about FAT is learning from and with so many impactful educators. So Jamie, Susan, thank you so much for the day. We look forward to what day 2 is going to bring us.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.